Let me describe someone to you and tell me if this sounds familiar. He's 29 years old, works in tech support, makes $75,000 a year. That's more than the median household income in America. He should be comfortable. He should be saving money, building wealth, maybe taking a nice vacation once a year. Instead, he checks his bank account every single day with this low-level anxiety. He's got maybe $1,500 saved. When his laptop died last month, he had to finance it on a credit card. He makes $75,000 a year, and he feels broke. Constantly. Now let me tell you about his older brother. He's 34, works as a teacher, makes $45,000 a year, $30,000 less, and somehow he seems fine, not stressed, takes his family on vacation every summer, has money saved, never talks about being tight on cash. How is the person making $45,000 doing better than the person making $75,000? If you've ever gotten a raise and somehow felt even more broke 6 months later, or if you've looked at your salary and thought, I make too much money to feel this poor, this video is going to explain exactly what's happening to you. I am your Mr. Brother, and I've spent years trying to figure out why income and financial comfort have almost nothing to do with each other past a certain point. If you want to understand why making more money often makes you feel broker and what to actually do about it, hit that subscribe button and drop a like if this video helps you figure out where your money is actually going. Here's the thing nobody tells you about making more money. Your expenses don't just increase, they transform. And the way they transform is invisible, which is why most people have no idea it's happening to them. When you're making $45,000 a year, your financial life is pretty simple. You have your rent or mortgage, maybe $1,200 a month. You have your car payment, $300. Insurance, gas, groceries, utilities. You add it up and it comes to about $3,500 a month. You know exactly where every dollar goes because you have to. There's no room for mystery purchases. But something weird happens when you jump to $75,000. Suddenly you have what feels like extra money, real breathing room. You're bringing home maybe $4,800 a month after taxes instead of $3,200. That's $1,600 more every month. $1,600. That should be piling up in your bank account. You should have an extra $19,000 saved up by the end of the year, except you don't. You have nothing. And you have no idea where it went. Let me walk you through exactly what happened to that $1,600. First, you upgraded your apartment. Not immediately, but within 6 months of getting that raise, you moved to a nicer place. You told yourself you deserved it after years of that cramped studio. Your rent went from $1,200 to $1,800. That's $600 of your $1,600 raise gone. But it's fine because you still have $1,000 left over every month, right? Then you got a newer car. Your old car was fine, but it had 120,000 miles, and you were making good money now. You could afford something reliable. Your car payment went from $300 to $550. Your insurance went from $120 to $180 because newer car, higher coverage. That's another $310 gone. You're down to $690 a month of that raise. But you're eating better now. When you made $45,000, you meal prepped on Sundays, brought lunch to work, cooked dinner most nights. Now you make $75,000. You're busy, you're tired, you deserve to treat yourself. DoorDash a couple times a week, lunches out with coworkers, nicer restaurants on weekends. Your food spending went from $400 a month to $800. There goes another $400. You're down to $290 a month. Your phone plan upgraded. You got the new iPhone on that payment plan, bumped up to unlimited data. That went from $60 to $110. $50 a month doesn't sound like much, but that's $50 gone, $240 left. You got a gym membership at the nice gym instead of the budget place, $70 instead of $20. There's $50 more, $190 remaining. Subscriptions crept in. Netflix you already had, but then you added Spotify Premium, HBO, Disney Plus, that meditation app, the meal kit service you used twice, another $60 a month total, down to $130. You started buying nicer clothes because you need to look professional. You upgraded your work wardrobe, started shopping at better stores, maybe $100 more a month averaged out, $30 left from your $1,600 raise. Weekend activities got more expensive. When you made $45,000, weekends were cheap. Free hiking, game nights at home, maybe a budget-friendly outing. Now you make $75,000, you're going to breweries, taking weekend trips, saying yes to that concert everyone's going to. Another $100 a month on average. You're now spending more than your raise. And we haven't even talked about the invisible spending, the random Amazon packages, the coffee runs that turned from occasionally to daily, the rounds of drinks you buy because you can afford it, the Ubers instead of taking the bus. Each one is small, $10 here, $20 there, but they add up to hundreds. This is why making $75,000 feels broker than making $45,000. When you made $45,000, you had $1,500 in expenses and knew where every penny went. When you make $75,000, you have $4,800 in expenses and have no idea where any of it goes. You have more money coming in, but somehow less money in your account at the end of the month. And the worst part? You don't even feel like you're living large. That apartment? It's nice, but it's not fancy. That car? It's a regular Honda, not a luxury vehicle. Those dinners out? Just normal restaurants, nothing extravagant. You're not buying boats or taking luxury vacations. You're just living a normal middle-class life, and it's consuming every single dollar. This is what people mean when they talk about lifestyle inflation, but that term doesn't capture how insidious it is. It's not like you sat down and decided to spend all your raise. It just happened. $100 here, $50 there, upgrade this, treat yourself to that. None of it felt significant in the moment, but you're the frog in boiling water. Each increase in spending was small enough that you didn't notice, but collectively, they ate everything.
Here's the really messed up part. The person making $45,000 is often financially healthier, not because they have more money, because they have more awareness and more discipline by necessity. When you're making $45,000, every spending decision is deliberate. You can't afford to be careless. You check prices, you compare options, you think before buying. This forced intentionality creates financial discipline. You know your numbers, you track your spending, you make trade-offs consciously. But when you jump to $75,000, that discipline evaporates. You stop checking prices, you stop comparing options, you stop thinking before buying. You tell yourself you can afford it, and individually you can afford each thing, but collectively you can't afford all the things, and that's the trap. You went from forced discipline to unconscious spending, and unconscious spending at a higher income level does way more damage than conscious spending at a lower income level. There's also a psychological component nobody talks about. When you make $45,000, you identify as someone who needs to be careful with money. Your self-image includes financial constraint. You're not the person who orders the expensive wine or gets the guacamole or takes the Uber. That's not you. That identity actually protects you from overspending. But when you make $75,000, your identity shifts. You're successful now, you've made it, and successful people don't worry about guacamole, they don't take the bus, they don't check prices. Except you're not actually wealthy, you're just making a decent salary, but your spending identity changed faster than your bank account could keep up with. Let me show you what the $45,000 earner is doing that the $75,000 earner isn't. The $45,000 person has a budget, not because they're naturally organized, because they have to. They know they bring home about $3,200 a month. They know rent is $1,200, car is $300, food is $400. They can do that math in their sleep. And when they get to the end of the month, they have about $400 left over. Most of it goes to savings, some to fun, but they know the number.
The $75,000 person doesn't have a budget. They don't think they need one. They make enough money. They'll just be reasonable. Except reasonable is a garbage standard. Reasonable adjusts to whatever feels normal, and what feels normal expands to consume your income. So they spend $4,800 a month and have no idea what they spent it on. They just know it's gone. Here's the other thing the $45,000 earner does better. They wait. They're forced to wait. They want something, they have to save up for it. They see a jacket they like, they think about it for a week, check their budget, decide if they can afford it. By the time they're ready to buy, they often don't want it anymore, or they realize they don't need it. This waiting period is a natural filter that eliminates probably half of all potential purchases. The $75,000 earner doesn't wait. They see it, they want it, they buy it. Same day, sometimes same hour. No filter, no cooling off period, just instant gratification. And instant gratification is expensive. The $45,000 person also has clear priorities. They have to. When you can't afford everything, you get really good at figuring out what matters. Maybe they care about travel, so they cut everywhere else to afford one good trip a year. Maybe they care about eating well, so they have a nice grocery budget but drive an old car. Whatever it is, they know what they value, and they allocate accordingly. The $75,000 person tries to have it all: nice apartment and nice car and eating out and weekend trips and new clothes and all the subscriptions. They never sit down and ask what actually matters because they think they can afford everything. Spoiler, they can't. But they don't figure that out until they're 35 with no savings. Here's what's really going on beneath the surface. When you make $45,000, your constraint is money. You have time, you have energy, you just don't have cash. So you optimize for cash. You cook instead of ordering delivery. You fix things instead of replacing them. You find free entertainment. When you make $75,000, your constraint shifts to time and energy. You have money now, at least it feels like you do, but you're working more hours, you're more stressed, you're exhausted. So you start buying convenience, food delivery, house cleaning, Uber everywhere, anything to save time and energy. And convenience is expensive, really expensive. This is where the person making $45,000 pulls ahead. They're less stressed, working fewer hours in many cases, and they have time to do things efficiently. Meal prep, compare prices, fix their own stuff, find deals. The person making $75,000 is so time-starved, they're hemorrhaging money on convenience without realizing it. They're trading dollars for time at a rate that doesn't make sense. Spending $20 on DoorDash to save 30 minutes of cooking, that's valuing their time at $40 an hour after taxes. Except they probably take home about $36 an hour. They're paying to save time at a rate higher than they earn. Now, let me tell you what changed everything for me. I was that $75,000 person. I got a promotion, big raise, felt great for about 3 months. Then I noticed I was stressed about money more than before. I ran the numbers and my mind exploded. My expenses had increased by almost exactly the amount of my raise. I was no better off than before, just spending more and not even enjoying it that much. So I did something extreme. I decided that I would live like I was still making my old salary. Every dollar of the raise would go straight to savings and investments before I could touch it. First paycheck after the raise, I set up automatic transfers, emergency fund, retirement account, taxable investment account. The money left my checking account the day my paycheck hit. I never saw it. I never had a chance to spend it. And you know what happened? Nothing. Nothing bad anyway. My life didn't get worse. I didn't feel deprived. I still had the same apartment, same car, same lifestyle I had before the raise. The only difference is I was building wealth. Within 2 years, I had more in savings and investments than I'd saved in the entire 5 years before that. Same person, same income, just different structure. Here's the framework that actually works. When you get a raise, any raise, you split it 3 ways before you spend $1 of it. 50% goes to future you. Retirement accounts, investment accounts, savings. This is non-negotiable. You're buying your future freedom. 25% goes to improving your quality of life now. This is your guilt-free upgrade money. Better apartment, nicer meals, whatever matters to you, but only 25%. 25% goes to goals. Paying off debt, saving for a house, building a business, something that moves your life forward. So if you get a $1,000 a month raise, $500 goes to investments, $250 to lifestyle upgrades, $250 to goals. You lock this in automatically before you have a chance to mess it up. The mistake everyone makes is they take the whole raise, dump it in their checking account, and just start spending. No plan, no structure, no allocation. And expenses expand to consume it all. You have to be more intentional than that. Here's the other piece. You need to track your spending for 3 months. I know that sounds annoying. Do it anyway. Every dollar. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, I don't care, but track everything. You will be shocked. Most people are spending 30 to 40% more than they think they are. Just seeing the numbers changes behavior. When you see you spent $200 on DoorDash last month, you make different choices, not because anyone's forcing you, because you're aware now. The $45,000 earner has forced awareness from constraint. The $75,000 earner has to create awareness manually. Track spending for 3 months, see where the money actually goes, then decide if that's where you want it to go. Most people discover they're spending hundreds on things they don't care about, subscriptions they forgot, convenience purchases that don't matter, social spending to keep up with people they don't even like. Cut that. Reallocate to what actually matters. Look, making more money should make your life better. It should reduce stress, create opportunities, give you options. But for most people, it does the opposite because they let their expenses grow faster than their income. They upgrade everything, lose all awareness, and end up broke at a higher income level. The solution isn't to make less money. The solution is to break the automatic link between earning more and spending more. Treat raises like they're bonuses to your future, not permission to upgrade your life. Save and invest first, then upgrade what's left. Track your spending so you know where the money actually goes, and for the love of God, wait before buying things. If this video helped you understand why you feel broke despite making good money, smash that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment and tell me your salary and whether you feel broke or comfortable. I bet the answers will surprise people. Your future self will thank you for figuring this out today.